The midnight sky erupted with brilliant blue light as something tore through Earth's atmosphere, leaving a trail of cosmic dust in its wake. Dr. Max Chen nearly spilled his coffee across his star charts as the object crashed less than a mile from his isolated Montana observatory. "What the hell?" Max muttered, grabbing his jacket and flashlight. At 35, he had retreated from the academic world to pursue his research in peace. The last thing he needed was a meteorite disrupting his work, following the smoke trail through the pine forest. Max discovered not a meteorite, but a sleek, oval-shaped craft half buried in disturbed earth. Steam hissed from its metallic surface as a section of the hull slid open. Max froze, flashlight beam trembling slightly. A slender figure emerged, stumbling on unfamiliar terrain. In the light, Max saw her clearly humanoid, but undeniably alien. Her skin was a soft purple that seemed to shimmer under the moonlight. Long silvery hair framed a face with features both familiar and exotic. "Hello?" Max called out cautiously. "Are you... okay?" The visitor's eyes widened, eyes of deep violet with no visible pupils. She spoke, but the sounds were melodic and incomprehensible. "I'm Max," he said, pointing to himself. "Max Chen." The alien mimicked his gesture. "Lyra," she replied, the word musical on her tongue. She winced suddenly, revealing an injury on her arm. "You're hurt," Max said. Instinctively moving closer, Lyra backed away. Eyeing his flashlight with suspicion, "It's just light," Max explained. Turning the beam away from her face and toward his own to demonstrate, "Look, I have a first aid kit back at my house. Do you understand? I can help." Understanding dawned in her expression as she examined her damaged craft and the unfamiliar forest around them. With apparent reluctance, she nodded. The walk back to Max's observatory home was silent and tense. Lyra studied everything, the trees, the ground, the stars above, with intense fascination. Inside his home, Max's scientific curiosity battled with common sense. He should call someone NASA, the military, someone with authority to handle extraterrestrial visitors. Yet something held him back. "Sit here," he instructed, gesturing to a kitchen chair. Lyra observed the furniture with hesitation before carefully lowering herself onto it. Max retrieved his medical kit, moving slowly to avoid startling her. "I'm going to clean that wound, okay?" Lyra watched with fascination as he prepared antiseptic and bandages. When he reached for her arm, she flinched, but allowed the contact. Her skin felt surprisingly warm, almost feverish to the touch. "Where did you come from?" Max asked, knowing she couldn't understand, but hoping his tone conveyed curiosity rather than threat. Lyra looked up through the observatory's glass ceiling dome. With one delicate finger, she traced a constellation in the air, then pointed to a star Max didn't recognize. "You came from there?" "Across light years of space?" he whispered, awe replacing his initial fear. For the first time, Lyra smiled, a gesture so human it took Max by surprise. In that moment, looking into her alien eyes, Max realized his peaceful, isolated life had changed forever. Whatever came next, he couldn't simply turn this cosmic visitor away. Dawn broke over the mountains as Max awoke to a crashing sound from his kitchen. He bolted upright, momentarily confused until memories of the previous night flooded back. "His alien visitor, Lyra?" he called out, hurrying downstairs. The kitchen was a disaster zone. Water sprayed from his sink faucet, which had been twisted completely around. His microwave door hung open, its display flashing error messages. And in the center of it all stood Lyra, completely drenched, frantically pressing random buttons on his coffee maker. Whoa. Max rushed to turn off the sink. "What are you trying to do?" Lyra made frustrated gestures toward her throat. "Hydration," she said, the words strangely accented but recognizable. She must have picked up some English already, Max realized with astonishment. "You're thirsty? You want water?" Lyra nodded vigorously, pointing to the sink. Water wrong, different. Max grabbed a clean glass, filled it, and handed it to her. Lyra sniffed it suspiciously before taking a tentative sip. Her face contorted with disgust. "Not correct? She managed. Through an improvised game of charades, Max eventually understood. The water on her world had different mineral content. After several attempts mixing in various salts and minerals from his lab, he created something Lyra eagerly drank. "Thank," she said, her pronunciation improving by the hour. Max's scientific curiosity was overwhelming. "Can I run some tests?" "Nothing invasive, just ... To understand you better." Lyra tilted her head, considering. Then she reached for his tablet computer, which sat on the counter. Before Max could warn her about its fragility, she had already figured out how to turn it on. "Show," she commanded, tapping the screen. What followed was a crash course in both of their worlds. Using drawing apps and pictures, they established a rudimentary communication system. By afternoon, Lyra could string together simple sentences. "My ship need repair," she explained. "3 cycles." She held up 3 fingers. 3 days. Max guessed. Lyra nodded. "I stay here, hidden?" Max should have contacted authorities immediately. But the scientist in him couldn't resist this unprecedented opportunity. "Yes, you can stay." As evening approached, Lyra's confusion with human technology continued to both frustrate and amuse. She nearly electrocuted herself trying to understand power outlets, stared in bewilderment at Max's television, and jumped in fright when his phone rang. "So primitive," she said with a hint of condescension that made Max laugh. "Oh, really? Then why did you flood my bathroom trying to use the shower?" Lyra's purple skin darkened in what Max realized was embarrassment. Different ... mechanisms. When night fell, an unexpected cold front dropped the temperature. Max found Lyra shivering by the window, staring at the stars. Here, he offered a blanket. Wrapping it around her shoulders, "Thank," she whispered, unconsciously leaning against him for warmth in that quiet moment. With the boundary between researcher and subject momentarily forgotten, Max felt something shift between them, something neither human science nor alien technology had prepared them for. "This is called the Internet," Max explained the next morning, showing Lyra his laptop. "It connects people across our entire world." Lyra's eyes widened with interest as her fingers hovered over the keyboard. "Show me ... everything." What began as a simple demonstration quickly turned into a marathon educational session. Lyra absorbed information at an astonishing rate, moving from basic web browsing to complex search algorithms within hours. "Your species stores all knowledge. Publicly?" she asked, amazed. "On Avalon, knowledge is ... restricted. Hierarchical access." Max laughed. "Well, not all knowledge is reliable. Here, let me show you how to distinguish credible sources." As Lyra explored human digital culture, Max carefully documented everything she revealed about her world. Avalon, as she called it, orbited a binary star system with technology. Centuries beyond Earth's, her. People communicated partially through color, patterns on their skin, subtle shifts that complemented their spoken language. "Xenobiologist," Lyra explained, her English improving dramatically. "Studying emerging civilizations is my specialty. So I'm just a research subject," Max teased, trying to ignore his unexpected disappointment. Lyra's skin shifted to a deeper purple. "No, this encounter was unplanned. My ship malfunctioned. I shouldn't be here." After lunch, Max introduced her to his virtual reality headset. Lyra's initial skepticism transformed to delight as she explored virtual environments. "Primitive but ingenious," she exclaimed, moving through a simulation of the Louvre. "We have similar technology, but ours connects directly to neural pathways." "That sounds invasive," Max commented, helping her remove the headset. "Perhaps to humans," Lyra replied, her hand lingering on his. "Your species values physical boundaries differently." The air between them grew charged with unspoken tension. Max cleared his throat, stepping back. "I should check on your ship's repairs." They hiked to the crash site together. The spacecraft had deployed small robotic drones that were methodically repairing the damage. Lyra explained the technical aspects while Max listened, captivated less by the advanced technology than by her animated expressions. The navigation system will be functional tomorrow, she said, her tone suddenly subdued. Good news, Max replied. I'm sure why it didn't feel that way. As sunset painted the Montana sky in brilliant oranges and purples, they sat on a ridge overlooking the valley. The conversation flowed more easily now, moving from scientific exchange to personal histories.
Oh.
Do you have family waiting for you? Max asked. My research unit? Colleagues? No pair bond. She glanced at him curiously. You, just my research. I left academia because I preferred stars to people, laughed softly. Ironic that it took a visitor from another star to make me reconsider that choice. Era moved closer, her warmth radiating in the cooling evening air. Some discoveries are... unexpected. When their hands touched again, neither pulled away. The morning sun filtered through the observatory dome as Max worked on modifying a satellite radio to help Lyra contact her people. She had explained that her ship's long-range communication system was damaged beyond repair. If we boost the signal with your observatory equipment, Lyra suggested, her hands moving confidently across the circuit board, I can transmit a status update to prevent a search party. Max watched her work, admiring how quickly she'd adapted to human technology, despite its relative primitiveness. Won't they be worried about you sharing our technology with them? Lyra's skin rippled with a pattern Max now recognized as amusement. Max, it would be like your ancestors worrying about sharing stone tools with modern engineers. Ouch, Max laughed. My scientific pride is wounded. Their fingers brushed as they connected the final wires and neither pulled away. The air between them had grown increasingly charged over the past days. Their cultural exchange had evolved into something neither had anticipated. Almost ready, Lyra murmured, her voice soft. I just need to calibrate the frequency. Max's satellite phone buzzed unexpectedly, breaking the moment. He frowned at the unfamiliar number before answering. Dr. Chen, this is Colonel Rivera with the United States Space Command. We've detected unusual signal patterns originating from your location. Care to explain? Max's blood ran cold. I'm conducting research with new equipment. Nothing concerning. Our satellites picked up electromagnetic signatures consistent with non-terrestrial technology, the colonel continued. A team has been dispatched to your location. Please remain there until they arrive. As Max hung up, Lyra's expression showed alarm. What's wrong? Earth authorities detected your ship's repair drones. They're coming here, ran his hand through his hair. We need to get you back to your ship before he was interrupted by a high-pitched tone emanating from the modified radio. Lyra rushed to it, her movements suddenly urgent. No, she muttered, adjusting controls frantically. What is it? Our transmission was intercepted by my ship's automated defense system. It's sending distress signals to my homeworld. Her eyes met his, filled with concern. They'll interpret this as a hostile situation. Max's computer screen suddenly lit up with incoming alerts from his observatory equipment. Multiple objects entering Earth's atmosphere, he read, his voice hollow. Your people. Rescue protocol. Lyra's skin darkened with worry. They'll neutralize any perceived threat to extract me. Outside, the distant sound of helicopter rotors grew louder. Earth's authorities approaching from one direction, alien vessels from another. This is my fault, Max said, pacing. I should have reported your presence immediately. Lyra caught his arm. No, I shouldn't have attempted unauthorized contact. They stood in the center of the brewing storm. Two individuals from different worlds who had crossed boundaries of science, culture, and now, perhaps unwisely, of heart. What happens when they meet? Max asked quietly. Lyra's expression was grim. Without proper translation and protocol? Misunderstanding? Possibly conflict. The helicopter sounds grew louder as dark shapes appeared in the sky above, sleek, triangular crafts descending rapidly. Then we need to stop them both, Max said, determination replacing fear. And I think I know how. Twilight bathed the Montana Valley in purple hues as three black.
Oh.
Military helicopters touched down in the field before Max's observatory. Simultaneously, 5 triangular Avalonian vessels hovered silently above, their surfaces reflecting the fading sunlight like liquid metal. Ready? Max asked, squeezing Lyra's hand. She nodded, her skin pulsing with determination. Remember the sequence. They stepped outside together as armed soldiers approached from one direction in a beam of light. From the lead alien ship prepared to extract Lyra from the other. "Stop!" Max shouted, raising the modified satellite dish they'd been working on. "This is first contact, not a conflict." Colonel Rivera emerged from the lead helicopter. "Dr. Chen, step away from the extraterrestrial immediately." Simultaneously, a voice boomed from the Avalonian ship. Translated through Lyra's technology. "Researcher Lyra, prepare for immediate extraction. Human presence deemed hostile." Lyra raised her voice, addressing both groups. "This human saved my life. We've established peaceful communication." Max activated the satellite array they'd modified. The device projected holographic star charts, showing both Earth and Avalon, with a communication pathway between them. "We've spent days developing this," Max explained to the stunned military personnel. "A translation matrix that can bridge our languages and technologies. A gift from both our worlds." The Avalonian ships lowered slightly, their extraction beam powering down. A slender figure appeared at the lead ship's entrance, an older Avalonian with elaborate markings on his visible purple skin. Chief Researcher Terran Lyra acknowledged with a respectful gesture. "This human, Dr. Max Chen, has shown that Earth is ready for preliminary contact protocols." The tense standoff gradually eased as both human and Avalonian authorities recognized the potential historic significance of the moment. What had begun as a potential interstellar incident transformed, hour by hour, into the framework of Earth's first official extraterrestrial diplomatic exchange. As dawn broke after a night of careful negotiations, Max found Lyra standing alone by his telescope, gazing at the stars. "Your ship is repaired," he said quietly. "I suppose you'll be leaving with the delegation?" Lyra turned, her expression complex. "The Council has authorized a long-term cultural exchange program. They need a xenobiologist to lead it." Hope bloomed in Max's chest. "And I volunteered," she said, her skin rippling with the color patterns he now recognized as affection. "Someone needs to teach these humans about proper technology." Max laughed, closing the distance between them. "And I suppose someone needs to show this alien how much more we primitive humans have to offer." As the first official Avalonian diplomatic vessel prepared for landing in the valley below, Max and Lyra stood at the threshold of something unprecedented, not just between their worlds, but between themselves. "Some boundaries are worth crossing," Lyra whispered, leaning against him. Max nodded, watching the sunrise illuminate both human and alien ships standing peacefully together on Earth's soil. And some connections transcend the stars themselves, fingers intertwined. Different in origin, but perfectly aligned in purpose, as the new day dawned on two worlds forever changed by an accidental encounter and the universal language that had bridged the cosmic divide.